All right, good afternoon, good morning, traders. Hope you guys are doing well. This is my morning voice. It's all kind of like dried, so apologize for that. So I just wanted to, I was reviewing the charts last night, late night, last night, just kind of noticing a few things. Wanted to share my thoughts with you for the week ahead, and then we'll talk about earnings as well. There are several big ones, I think, going into the next week. So the first thing is I'm gonna go ahead and start with VIX actually, and noticing some trends here. So obviously, over this is a daily chart. On the left side, that's my weekly chart. Okay, um, couple of things to note here is that the VIX obviously, ever since October 2021, that's kind of where we started entering into bear territory here. So you have definitely very crazy movements and spikes, right? So I still think that VIX is headed into the 40s. You'll likely see VIX head straight into the 40s sometime soon. However, you have very good trend where you have higher lows, right? Notice on this the shaft cycles here, all right, the trend cycles here, it's starting to bottom out right here where we are. So on the daily candle, we got a kind of an inverted shooting star, inverted hammer, so to speak, and right off the support here on Tuesday, where everything started rallying right towards the end of the day, and then over the last several days in the trading week, we had these crazy candlesticks moving back up and wanting to break out of this 33 level. So this coming week, watch out for this 33 level. It is going to be critical for bears. If this starts breaking out, then yes, I do think there's going to be that chance where we come up to about 37 before pulling back. Long term speaking, I do think that the bears win in this market, and VIX should be in the 40s. It'll be really crazy by then. However, we are nearing the lows on the VIX. So I still think for now, you know what, going into next week, I do think that it continues to pull back a little bit, but the cycle is once again ending or nearing here where it starts moving back up. So watch out for the VIX. I would say it's going to come back and retest the support maybe at 25, 26, or hold the EMA clouds at 27 area. So I think that if we have any, I think we should have some type of relief rally on Monday. If that's the case, then VIX obviously pulls back to around this range. It'll be a temporary rally. I don't think it's going to be. You do have FOMC that's going to be the wild card, right? Who knows what the FOMC minutes are going to throw off the charts. But if it's positive, then obviously this breaks this forecast. Now, with that being said, so that's the VIX, and you can see it on the stochastics, right? The stochastics starting to curl, crossover and curl. So this should be very interesting on the VIX going into next week. Let's go to the Qs and let's check in on that. Sorry, I'm talking slow this morning. All right, so notice on the Qs, on the CCI indicator, you got higher lows, okay, while the price is moving down here. Once again, it's the shaft trend cycle is entering into a new low here. Usually props itself back up. I'm keeping my forecast that towards somewhere near the bottom of the market is going to be Qs around this area, 260 area. So I'm going to keep that intact. Weekly is starting to curl back up a little bit as well. So there's some bullish divergences that I'm seeing on the chart. However, I do think that for the most part, this any type of rally is going to be pretty much short-lived. I do think that you will see a retest of 300. Okay, going into this following week, like I said, there might be a big, pretty good relief rally, a very directional play going into next week, where this trend line here is going to get tested. Now, this used to be the support, which obviously now that's turned into resistance. So this is the key area to watch for the Q before it eventually pulls back once again, and you should see something like that. Okay. All right. So that's the Q. Let's go ahead and go over to the SPY. All right. SPY on the weekly lost the EMA 100. We know that. All right. That's been long gone. However, once again, here you have some positive divergences on at least on the CCI. The cycle trend is about to touch down here into negative territory. So it looks like SPY, you'll probably see some type of pre-market dump, right? The momentum carries forth into Monday. However, once the dump, watch out for any bear traps. I really feel strongly that there's going to be a bear trap on Monday where it comes back down here, all right, into, let's say, 385 range, and then reverses here. Okay. Now we'll see what happens. However, I think that this is obviously going to be resistance here at 396. Okay. If the bulls pick up any momentum, you're going to likely see this prior support now becoming resistance as well. So let's just say about 403, 405 is going to be going to be the bounce. All right. So this is how I'm going to do this. Ignore the number in place. All right. So it's going to do this. Okay. All right. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's, you're likely to see this kind of action for the next couple of weeks. Okay. So that's SPY. And then finally, let's talk about Apple. All right. That's a big one. Okay. Like I said, Apple avoided the EMA 100. Again, CCI, bullish divergence here, positive divergence here. So yeah, I mean, I do think there's a lot of things being oversold, and you're starting to see it on the weekly. The stochastic starting to curl as well. Okay. Weekly is already oversold here. These are cycle lows. There you go. All right. Things tend to prop back up. Cycle lows here, and of course, cycle lows here on a daily as well. So watch out. Let's say, I'm going to say, you could probably the first test for Apple is going to be 141. Okay. If that holds up, if SPY continues to run, then you're going to see 148. Then it's going to be that kind of action. But again, we're, long-term speaking, we're still in the bear market, right? And I think that it'll last at least throughout the end of the year. So any type of bounces are likely to be short-lived. And remember, I drew this 2-hour trend for you guys the other day. We're still seeing significantly, obviously, lower highs and lower lows. All right. So you can see a situation where something looks something like this. Okay. And looking something like this. Okay. All right. So yeah, right here. So you can see on the 2-hour chart, likely to see it pop into the, this is going to be a huge one. All right. 140, the EMA 21. Hey, probably dip a little bit here. It'll try. Okay. And then it should fall back into the channel. All right. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for Apple going into the week. All right. Excuse me. All right. Let's talk about earnings. Zoom. This is the first one. They do report Monday morning. All right. COVID name. All right. Ran from back in COVID times. All right. In the weekly chart. March 2020 ran from $69 all the way to $600, $500, almost $600. I do believe after earnings, the appetite for these names are going to fail. So I'm going to be watching on Monday for that market pump right back into probably 90s. And then I do think it's going to come back to support right about $60. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm looking. I'm just playing the chart, not fundamentals when it comes to the Zoom chart here. So, I think things are moving back into the office, right? So I'm not seeing where Zoom is going to continue to grow here. All right. So Zoom, I'm putting a $60 price, probably play, 70 puts or something like that, 79 puts just for fun. So we'll see what happens with Zoom. Okay, BBY, Best Buy reports on Tuesday, pre-market. So you have to grab some action on Monday before closing bell. BBY, the story is near around our house here in California, in the Bay Area. The big retail stores are literally empty. Okay, you go to Best Buys, they've liquidated their inventory. Okay, they converted parts of their half their warehouse, at least the one by my house. They converted half of their store into some type of warehousing operation. I don't know what, but you walk in there and it's just like very scary. Okay, it's quiet, low staff, empty parking lots. As Amazon's kicking their butts, right? So anyway, chart speaking, fell off the moving average 200. Okay, COVID lows was back in $48. Okay, so I'm thinking once again, I'll take the market pump on Monday into like 75 area. I do think this is coming back down to probably $60 or less going into earnings on Tuesday. So I'll be looking at that. One more earnings I'm going to play is the Sporting Goods. Overpriced sporting goods, at least here in California. The one by my house, again, empty stores. Okay, not a lot of foot traffic. I've gone there twice in my life, and their products are just like overly priced for standard products that I could buy online. And it's there's nothing special here. So, chart speaking, it's gonna probably test this right here this coming week. All right, so I'm putting so likely probably 60 puts again here for Dick's Sporting Goods. All right, so I'm sorry guys, this was a long video.